today's episode of The Tenant, I'm meeting a very unusual person. He's a man who sold his own apartment in one of the most prime neighborhoods of India and moved on rent in the western suburbs of Mumbai. Why did he do it? What works for him in the suburbs versus South Bombay? Let's meet him.
Hey brother, hi Vishal, how you been?
Hi Mohit, good to see you. So this is your humble abode, if I can call it that.
Absolutely.
So what's the space about? How big is it? What are we talking here?
We're talking about 299 to I think it might be 309 carpet, and it's advertised as a 1 BHK, but it's actually a 1 room hall kitchen, more like a studio.
So this area is the hall, in a way, living room,
Yes.
plus an open kitchen.
Yes. I mean, all I really do is sometimes if I feel like boiling eggs or I want to make some dalia, or if I want to make upma or if I want to make pasta, that's about it. Because my food actually arrives via tiffin.
Is that your source for all food, or you have a cook who comes and does some degree of cooking?
So, being a single person, it didn't really make sense for me to have a cook because it would cost a lot of money, the cost of an LPG cylinder, buying the raw materials, which is the vegetables themselves, with the fluctuating prices and stuff like that.
Where do you really spend most of your money? Do you have somebody who comes, cleans your house, or you do it yourself? Are you a fully independent person?
So, that's actually a very great question. So, when I was younger, I did have a lot of experience of, cleaning up after myself. I don't need to tell you about the pandemic with a lack of housekeepers and the various restrictions. We were all cleaning on and off. So I specifically bought this smaller space because it would be easier for me to clean too, and again, saving money on a housekeeper, I can do it myself. Like if I really need to deep clean the apartment, it takes me 1 hour. Just the basic mopping and whatever, it takes me like 15 to 20 minutes. Washing the dishes, because I'm a single guy, I'm not married, I don't have kids, I'm not looking at those choices in the near future as such. I am finishing my dishes too, as and when in 10-15 minutes, whatever I need as is, and I've got my deliveries that come from time to time. Swiggy is there too.
So being a single person has simplified choices.
Absolutely.
And on this table and this dining set, all this is something that you came with the apartment from the landlord? You bought it? What have you done?
So I was actually advised that because this was my first rental unit, to go into renting furniture as need be, see what your requirements are, and then update it as need be. So these 2 chairs are actually mine. I bought this chair right here. This is on rent, that is on rent. I own that fridge right there, and the apartment came with the stovetop. I bought the microwave and I bought the water filtration unit.
All the other things in the apartment are pretty much on rent.
Yes, you can say that. I mean, once we go into my room, you'll see practically everything is on rent in there. So yeah, seeing my requirements, and seeing the size of the apartment, single bed made most sense. And outside of this television that you see right here, everything in here, from the air conditioner to the bed frame to this reclining chair to the cupboard and the various tables, they're all on rent.
So it's all on rent?
Yeah.
So barring this TV over here, everything in this bedroom is on rent?
Correct.
Okay. So how much, how do you source this on rent? Is it like an agency that you take it from? Is it a neighborhood shop that provides it to you?
So before I decided to go on rent, I was aware of the brand Folenko. So I did my research on Folenko. And then outside of that, when trying to see a service that was similar to it, a competitor time, I came across City Furnish. So whatever I could not find on Folenko, I got it from City Furnish as needed.
And there's this place for a closet that comes with the apartment, right?
Yes. So that was one more thing that actually attracted me about this apartment. Was attractive to me is that there's actually a slot, if that's what you would call it, where the cupboard could fit as needed.
But yeah, all these slots make the apartment look bigger.
Yes.
Otherwise, if it just comes in between,
Yes.
it makes a small room look
Yes.
even smaller. Okay. And that's the balcony.
Yes.
Is that used quite a bit by you?
Yes, definitely. I mean, to attend to my plants, and one of the greatest joys for me, especially of moving here, was when I lived at Pedder Road. Was I happened to know I was very irritated by the amount of honking that I would experience, you know, because living on the second floor, my living room overlooked the main road, and I was right next to a signal. So there was like constant honking all day long. So being on a lower floor now, being on a higher floor, I have room to keep my plants. I can go out there, and once the construction in the neighboring areas is not going on, it's very peaceful around here.
Are there things outside the apartment in this building that that are amenities for people? Many people move to the western suburbs or the eastern suburb because they want some amenity. Even if it might be limited, but they do want that. Is there something over here?
So there is a lovely gym on the first floor, and the few times I've visited, I've gone in the daytime, I've gone in the evening. It's from 7 in the morning to 12 and 5 to 9 p.m. Monday to Saturday. It's never super crowded in there, so you can always go in there. Plus they have a supervisor in there who acts as a trainer, so that helps too. You're not paying anything extra for that or to use the gym. And on top of that, sometimes because of the location of this building, you get a nice aerial view 360 of the surrounding areas. So from 5 p.m. to I believe it's either 8 or 9 p.m. in the evening, you can go upstairs, you can have a couple of friends over, have a cup of coffee on the terrace as needed. So that's fun for what it is, to be honest.
So Mohit, this is the bedroom.
Yes.
I'm guessing this part over here is the bathroom, right?
So Vishal, what I like about the bathroom is, as you've seen already, the composition of the apartment is not that big, you know, but the bathroom, the actual size of it is not being skimped on. I don't feel like if I'm over the sink, you know, shaving, or if I'm like, you know, brushing my teeth, I'm like banging into something, or when I'm taking a shower, there's more than enough room for me to move around.
So Mohit, you mentioned that that you aren't working.
Yes.
So how do you spend your day? What all do you do?
So I spend a good chunk of it, like I actually start out my day reading a lot. Like I've subscribed to various different newsletters, be it across finance, research. As I already told you, I did a social entrepreneurship MBA from NMIMS, so I have my social sector readings as well to keep up with what's happening, what kind of interventions are being done to, you know, bring about positive change. Then post that, you know, sometimes I'll go on YouTube, I'll watch more news on there, you know, like specific people, you know, who have come to realize, speak with some kind of expert authority about, you know, markets or, you know, current affairs, or whether it's in India or different parts of the world. So it helps me understand the global economy, which helps with the investment. And then of course, yes, since I'm not working, OTT takes up a lot of time, so I do consume a ton of content. I'm subscribed to a lot of different services, and people in fact tell me that how do you watch so many you know, shows quickly. So that's fair. And then I do spend a lot of time gaming as well. It alternates between the mobile and the laptop, anywhere to 2 to 3 hours.
So Mohit, this space is 309 square feet. It's fairly compact. How much are you paying in rent for this per month?
So I pay 30,000 a month in rent. My deposit was 1 lakh, and I do not pay any maintenance fees, as 30,000 takes care of it all. And whatever my expenses are, I pay for them as need be.
So since you mentioned the terrace, given the height of this building, this seems to be a tall building.
Yes.
Why don't we go up to the terrace
Correct.
and continue the conversation over there?
Absolutely, let's do that.
Let's do it. So this is the terrace, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, seems to be quite spacious.
Yeah, it's quite nice actually, you know. I mean, I guess I must be one of those few people that actually likes the view of the concrete jungle, you know. It's nice to see the development that's coming up around Mumbai city.
So Mohit, you know, one of the most intriguing things about the reference you made downstairs was shifting from Pedder Road to the suburbs in Andheri.
Correct.
Pedder Road is the street which has many wealthy billionaires.
Yeah.
Some of your neighbors would be the promoters of the Birla Group as well as Reliance. And some unicorn founders also are there. What gets you from there to the suburbs?
So initially what happened was my father passed away in 2013. He happened to be our last living parent. And me and my sister, we were in two minds at the time. Did we want to live together? Did we want to live separately? So we finally came to the decision to live separately. And that's, you know, when the listing of the apartment happened. which was not until like 5 years later. It's like around 2018, and then we actually completed the sale in 2021.
So it took you 3 years from the time you decided to sell to actually
Yes.
sell the apartment. Why? Why did it take so long?
Sure enough, the most obvious one is the pandemic happened because, right around when we listed, the pandemic started, 1.5 years later. But I think in my experience, the biggest reason for this lengthy amount of time I learned was we were very unrealistic about our expectations initially. Based on what price we quoted, what it was actually worth, what kind of capital gains would we be looking at possibly, what was the demand in the market.
What was the eventual price you closed the apartment at then?
So, considering we started at 6 crores, in 2018 we eventually closed it at 4.3 in 2021.
So almost a 30% price lower than your quoted
Yes.
price. But it's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
4.3 crores. How is that been invested? How are you looking at distributing it? How does that work in your overall financial scheme of things?
So as of now, it's mostly invested in mutual funds. I happened to get in at a time when the market was a bit down. So they've gone up as of now.
So basically Mohit believes in that philosophy of mutual funds sahi hai.
Yes, absolutely.
So Mohit, you spoke about the money you got from the sale of the apartment. How did that shape up in terms of your overall investments and the returns that you get from it?
So I obviously split the money equally with my sister. And at this point, I'm getting close to 1 lakh a month, and my expenses over here aren't that much. With 30K goes in rent, I don't have any cook or cleaner or anything like that. I don't have to pay any maintenance or anything like that. My electricity bill comes to an average of 1,500 or less a month. And my food comes to between 10,000. So like I said, I'm trying to create a situation where based on what monthly I'm taking and the eventual job, whatever money I get, I want to keep reinvesting it, with a long-term horizon.
That's on the investment returns and the economics. What impresses you about this suburb versus Pedder Road, South Bombay?
So when it comes to Pedder Road, South Bombay, I felt as I've grown older, I mean, maybe it's me, maybe it might be other people too. It started feeling like, a retirement community of sorts, considering I'm a single man, with no wife, no kids. I wanted to be somewhere where there was little vibrancy in the lifestyle. And initially I had, like I said, I'd looked at Chembur, but I settled on Andheri because it was close to my school for my MBA. It was also on the same western line where I could, see my friends as needed. There's a great, vibrant lifestyle here, between the bigger size malls. It's not as expensive, and I get a wide variety of foods and entertainment options over here, and I'm not spending as much money.
Clearly, in your view, this is a more vibrant, younger population set over here, right?
Yes. I mean, I guess you'd find more younger people in Japan than you would in South Bombay, I hope I don't get into trouble for this, but I mean, this is definitely something I happen to experience. And ever since I've moved to Andheri, like just within a 10-15 minute radius of where I am, I've got malls, I've got restaurants, I've got different kinds of eateries. And like I said, I'm, in the amount of time I've come here through the, social media and the WhatsApp groups and stuff, I've started meeting new people also,
So Mohit, most South Bombay people will not be happy hearing the analogy you drew.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But thank you for this interaction.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I visited your apartment building. You're an unusual tenant,
Yes,
so which always
definitely.
creates degree of curiosity. Okay, thank you for the interaction.
Yeah, so I was thinking, before we go, why don't you come down to my apartment and enjoy an activity that I enjoy myself a lot. We'll game a bit.
Game?
You can play one of my games.
Chalo, let's do the gaming. You'll have to teach me what gaming it is. Time for the report card. First up, this is a compact apartment. It is 309 square feet. Even the 2-bedroom is fairly compact. So this is a lot smaller than most of its neighboring projects. Number 2, connectivity. One of the benefits of being in this area and in this street is that its connectivity to most modes of transport is strong. Be it the metro, Uber, the autos, everything is convenient. Third, surrounding. Well, the approach road to this is fairly tight. Like with many parts of Mumbai, this place also gets flooded to an extent in the monsoons. So all in all, if you're a single or you're a couple with no kids who's working on a tight budget, whose work requires them to be in this proximity, this is a sort of apartment and location that can be considered.